My parents secretly used my credit to secure their mortgage for 20 years, so I cut them off. And what I discovered about their financial schemes shocked the entire family. Growing up, my biological father Robert and my mother Karen painted themselves as struggling but honest working-class parents. Dad worked construction when his back allowed it. Mom cleaned houses part-time. My younger sister Shannon, 3 years behind me, was always their golden child, the one who'd marry well and never leave home. I was different. At 16, I started freelance graphic design, saving every dollar for art school. By 18, I had $15,000 saved and dreams of independence. That's when they first asked for help with the mortgage payment. Just this once, they promised. The bank was being unreasonable about Dad's inconsistent income. I handed over $3,000, believing their story about temporary hardship. What I didn't know was that they'd already established a pattern that would drain my finances for the next 15 years. They weren't struggling, they were living beyond their means and using my success to fund their lifestyle. The requests became monthly, then weekly. Always urgent, always temporary. Car repairs, medical bills, Shannon's college expenses they couldn't afford. I paid because family takes care of family, right? Even when I suspected something was wrong, I convinced myself I was being paranoid. By 33, I built a successful design studio with 12 employees and was finally ready to buy my first house with my partner Rachel Monroe. That's when I applied for a mortgage and discovered the devastating truth that would tear my family apart forever. Mr. Holloway, there's an issue with your credit report, the loan officer said, frowning at her computer screen. You're already listed as a co-signer on a mortgage in Riverside. The balance is $430,000. My blood turned to ice. That's impossible. I've never co-signed anything. She turned the monitor toward me. There it was, my name, my social security number, my signature, from 15 years ago when I was barely 18. The monthly payments of $3,200 had been made consistently, funded entirely by the money I'd been giving my parents for their supposed emergencies. This loan was taken out in 2008. Were you aware of this obligation? I wasn't aware. I was a co-signer on my parents' mortgage without my knowledge, legally responsible for their 4-bedroom house in the suburbs while I lived in a cramped apartment, sacrificing my own future to maintain their comfortable lifestyle. Rachel sat beside me, her face pale with understanding. Jason, how much have you given them over the years? The calculation hit me like a physical blow. 15 years of emergency payments. Usually $2,000 to $4,000 per month. Conservative estimate $400,000. Enough to buy my own house twice over. Fund my business expansion. Build the life I'd been postponing year after year. My parents had systematically stolen my financial future while positioning themselves as grateful recipients of my generosity. Every sob story about struggles had been a lie designed to maintain their mortgage payments on a house I legally owned half of but had never lived in. That evening, I drove to their house, my house, according to the mortgage documents with printouts of everything. My hands shook as I knocked on the door I'd been paying for without knowing it. Jason, sweetie. Mom opened the door with her usual manipulative warmth. What a nice surprise. Come in, come in. I walked into the living room I'd funded for 15 years. New leather furniture. 65-inch television, Shannon's expensive workout equipment scattered around. Every piece bought with money they'd claimed was desperately needed for survival. I couldn't finish the whole story in this short. The full story is on my channel and linked below.